Hello, friends. Hello, hello. How are you, friends? Good morning to you. Hello. How is everybody this morning? Hope you're doing grand on this beautiful day. It is steamy and high summer here today. My little update in the corner of the computer has hurricane update. It is I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is, but it is a sign of the times that we find ourselves in one of these days. Good morning. Good morning. A little Chaplain mug today. Everybody's doing all right. Hey, Vicky. Good morning. I'm praying your knee heals. I am praying for the healing of your knee. We're going to pray for that today, for sure. Good morning, Donna. I'm so glad you're healing well. I'm so glad to hear your recovery's coming along. That's awesome. Great news. Please keep my dear friend, our dear friend, Fannie Faye Davis, in your prayers as well. She continues to not feel great and to struggle and so please pray for her. We are. It seems like everywhere we turn these days, the world is in need of some healing and in need of some grace. And I hope that you are receiving some today, and I hope you maybe have the opportunity to extend some today. Good morning, Yvette. Hope you're doing great this morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning. All right, let's get going this morning. It is the 16th day of July here at 11:11, and I pray you are well and good and whole. I hope that this day finds you well. The book of Isaiah is really a book of a people in crisis. This is that all of the crisis of the entire first half of the story of the people of Israel has reached a pinnacle, and it's all coming apart. It's all breaking down. It's all they've quite literally have lost their way. And here in this moment, they have there's a whole lot of corrective language about, well, y'all have lost your way from God, but amid it, there are these moments of kind of instruction in terms of invitation to how things can be better, and there's some beautiful moments, and the book concludes with really the last six chapters, 60 to 66, which are really these invitations of God to say, like, look, I know we've had trouble. I know it hasn't always worked out. I know you may be, things may be bad. The Babylonians may be coming. There may be all these things, but come home. Come home and be with me. Come home and find your way back. Come home and I'm not going to beat anybody up. I just want to be back in relationship with you. This is God's call to the people of Israel. And so this is from the 66th chapter of Isaiah. And the culmination of this invitation, in a way. Has not my hand made all these things, and so they came into being? Declares the Lord. These are the ones I look on with favor, those who are humble and contrite in spirit, and who tremble at my word. This invitation that God is extending to his people at the end of this kind of long corrective is this invitation to say, look, I've made it all. All of this stuff, it's got my signature. You flip over the creation and every piece of it has my signature on the bottom as its creator. And what brings you into accord, what brings my favor, meaning it's not just like, yay, I'm happy, boo, I'm sad. It's what brings my one into right relationship with this creation that I've formed is this humble and contrite spirit, and those who tremble at my word. This sense of a sense of awe, and a sense of humility, and a sense of uh, of being willing to place oneself in the role of a servant. Of course, this is kind of what we find at the heart of Christ and the heart of Jesus in what he shows us in this world. But I want to offer us this and this a little more today in this. And so there's a great chapter that comes in a little book called "Ego is the Enemy" by Ryan Holiday, and the chapter title comes from a story by one of the great coaches, Pat Riley. Pat Riley is one of the great coaches, basketball coaches, and he says every team kind of has a pattern. They start out what he calls in innocence, and that because so you get a bunch of players together and you start to practice and you start to form, and everybody's playing for the team. Everybody that if you get kind of the right folks on the bus, you get the right guys on the court, they start to gel, and they start to come together, and they start to do more than they could just as individual players, but they truly begin to become a team. And as they become a team, they inevitably begin to win. And so they go from this state of innocence where there's folks who want to show up and play the game to, or maybe even just prove themselves, to that they begin to what he calls the innocent climb. And so they start this climb because they begin to win. And so, and that winning brings with it a problem that inevitably always strikes a team that goes from this, that begins to gel, and then from that begins to climb in a winning streak. And as they begin to win, what he says that what is almost always followed by this is called the disease of me. The disease of me, which, I like to not think of myself as a disease, but what he's speaking to is that what happens as a team begins to succeed, the very thing that got them into the success, their innocence, their desire to just serve, their desire to just play their position, the desire to just, I'm just happy to be here doing what I can for the team kind of modality and as they begin to get into winning, they begin to get afflicted with the idea that, well, I'm the one who did this. Well, I'm the one who it's all my talent, and that you get, the great rivalries of guys on the same team that start to fight each other because because of their egos, and because this inflated sense of themselves that early on in their early success wasn't present because of the very success in which they had. And I think in many ways that because we're kind of we're afflicted with the secularity of the world, the secular nature of the world. We're afflicted by this notion that like if we look around from here, kind of looks like we're the center of the world. Everywhere I turn, looks like I'm at the center of it. That we even the poorest of us, even the ones who are at the margin, even if we're struggling, we still have more material success than most of the kings of England. If you have the option to go somewhere with air conditioning, you have more creature comforts than all the kings of England ever had, other than Charles, of course, the recent guy. But you see what I'm saying? That the nature of the world has changed in such a way that we kind of have we have a little affluenza, and that doesn't make us bad people. It's just part of our condition. But the reality is that we've been on this team that is kind of having a little bit of that has kind of is been through this innocent climb, and I feel like all of this brings us to this moment where we really have to return to our true identity and our true invitation to come to be at God's table. And the way that, and I love this phrase from Isaiah 66, because it's not meant to be judging, and it's not meant to be, and it's not the heavy hand or the left hand of God. It is, really this simple invitation of remembering the order of things. The great Samuel Morse, the guy who invented Morse code and the telegraph and all that, he was asked if he ever encountered situations where he didn't know what to do. And Morse said, "Yeah, all the time. Like this whole process of discovery has been incredible." He said, but he said this way. He said, "More than once. And whenever I could not see the way clearly, I knelt down and prayed to God for light and understanding." Now, Morse received incredible number of honors, the invention of the telegraph transformed the world, but he always felt undeserving in that. He said, and he went on to say, "I have made a valuable application of electricity, not because I was superior to other people, but solely because God, who meant the telegraph for all mankind, must reveal it to someone, and he was pleased to reveal it to me." Do you see how Morse was kind of organizing his thought structure and his thought world, and I think that it's really kind of how Isaiah 66 invites us into it, right? It says, don't you see that God's hand is on all things, that God has invented all things, that these things are going to be bestowed upon you, and the ones I look on in favor, the ones who are in right relationship with that, who are ordered properly in the midst of that creation, are those who have some humility, and those who aren't full of themselves, and those who aren't afflicted with the disease of me, to quote Pat Riley. Tony Adams is a great soccer coach, and he had a phrase that he said it this way. He said, "Play for the name on the front of the jersey, and people will remember the name on the back." Friends, the name on the front of our journey is child of God. The name on the front of the journey is our identity as children of God, made in the image of God. That is the team on which we play. That is the game in which we are engaged. And whatever our arena, whatever our place, whatever our way, that the challenge is again, I'm not calling us all a bunch of egotists. I'm saying we're kind of in an egotistical age. We're afflicted with these things. It's not necessarily, but it is up to us whether we pick them up or not. And so I encourage you today to play the game for the front of your jersey. That to play the game, to not being concentrated on what you didn't get or what you don't have or what isn't working out, but understand yourself as a child of God, and that all the one who made you and made all things, the one whose signature is on the bottom of every single thing in creation, that God who loves you and wants you to be in right relationship with all of his creation and all that he loves and all that he knows, and wants to bestow all good gifts on you, who wants you to tremble at his word. You know what, that tremble, it's really about awe. It's about, I want you to live up. I want you to wake up every day and go, "This is amazing! Look, a sunrise! Look, a cup of coffee! Look, this world! Look, I have breath in my lungs! Look at this day!" To be able to live in this state of awe, to be able to live in a state of magnanimity where we don't need to put ourselves out front. And that doesn't mean we don't need to take care of ourselves. It means that we play for the name on the front of the jersey, so that the name on the back of the jersey may be written in the book of life. My friends, I hope that in these days ahead, that you'll consider this notion of the disease of me, and this place that we found ourselves after our innocent climb as a society and as a people, and to realize that we don't need to fight with our teammates. We don't need to assert ours to get ours. We need to look to the one who made us, for his question stands for us. Has not my hand made all these things so that they came into being, declares the Lord? These are the ones that I look on with favor, those who are humble and contrite in spirit, and who tremble at my word. Peace and grace to you all, my friends, and we will pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.